What's good, everybody? We're back with another episode of Real Game Talk, the podcast. She got Will here, got my co-host here, Matt. We are on season 1, episode 11. So beginning of May, we got an episode we're doing for Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody who's celebrating out there today on their tequilas and tacos. Matt, what's good with you today, my guy? How's it going with you?
Man, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Man, I'm good, man. I'm having a bad hair day, so I had to throw some on my head. So I ain't around here looking crazy. I need to go and shave, but man, it's been a pleasant week. So just ready for everything else that's to come, all the stuff we got coming up, and just this episode in itself is something I'm looking forward to. So
I got you. I'm looking forward to it. My guy says he's having a bad hair day. For my audience, my guy doesn't really have any hair, so I was about to say, how does the guy who shaves his head have a bad hair day? But we'll get into that another time.
Yeah, man. When you don't shave, man, it's too much hair showing.
Same here, man. That's why I got a hat on today. So it's all good. Bad hair day for both of us. But we're just a little bit busy watching some sports over the weekend. We're gonna recap that on the show. Today we'll get into the NBA playoffs, which are shifting in from the first round into the second round today. We're also going to recap the boxing weekend as well, and then get into our favorite segment, which is more or less segment. This one, we'll kick it off today with the first round of the playoffs, man. We had all the series have finished and moved over to the second round. We had the Cavs end up beating the Miami Heat. We had Boston beating Orlando. We had the Knicks beating Detroit, and then we had who's the 4-5 on that side? Oh, the Pacers end up beating Milwaukee. On the Western Conference side, we had the Thunder sweeping Oklahoma City. We had Houston, which was the 2 seed, going down to Golden State on last night. We had Minnesota end up beating the Los Angeles Lakers in 5, and then we also had the Nuggets beating the Clippers in Game 7 on Saturday night. Of that first round from each conference, man, I'll let you break it down and give your feedback and how you felt the first round went on each side.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we weren't making betting brackets like the NCAA, because my bracket would have been out of there. I knew the Thunder was going to beat the Grizzlies. Didn't think it was going to go 4-0. I know Ja went down, and that definitely played a big part. But Thunder did what they were supposed to do. I thought the Clippers would be able to get with the Nuggets and win, but man, Nuggets they balled, man. They showed that their championship pedigree that they have without their coach, and Westbrook is adding that energy to their team that they need. Lakers T-Wolves, man, that one threw me off. T-Wolves, though, shout out to them, 4-1 in the Lakers. In 5, the Warriors Rockets got to get them a shout out, even though they were the higher seed. They really weren't expected to win, from a lot of people that was watching or observing, but they really gave it more of a series than some people probably thought they would. They took it to 7 and lost. They weaknesses showed back up. Their lack of shooting, and I'm sure that's something that they will try to improve on in the East. I knew the Cavs would beat the Heat. Did a little easier than expected, but did what they're supposed to do. The Pacers beating the Bucks. I think I predicted the Pacers to beating the Bucks, but they had a little easier time than I thought too. I thought that'd at least go 7. I don't think it did. The Knicks and the Pistons. Shout out to the Pistons. They fought. They went up against a more experienced team, but they showed their potential. This series, it pretty much was in every game, and the Celtics did what I expected them to do and beat the Magic. But they star Paulo. He had I seen some good games from him, but we'll see. But other than that, I mean, really not a lot of surprises outside of the Lakers not being able to take care of business, but they weaknesses showed up too.
Okay. I'll start with the East. I did expect the Cavs to run through the Heat, I guess. The Cavs, from just an overall team standpoint, have been playing better basketball than the Heat. I feel like the Heat are in a position right now where they need to make some changes to their overall roster. I don't know if they need to go get a free agent, give up on the guys they have and make some trades or something like that, but they need a jump start in that roster. They've been running it for the last few years with Bam, Tyler Hero. Of course, they had Jimmy Butler, but it's never seemed like their roster was actually compete. Even when they had Jimmy Butler and they made it to the finals, nobody expected them to win either one of those finals. It got there based off of Jimmy Butler's play in the playoffs. That's where he got his name at as far as being playoff Jimmy. So they kind of overachieved with that roster, and so now that Jimmy's gone, they're right where they should have been or was going to be based off of the roster. It might be time for them to make some changes with that roster, figure out what they can do with Bam, figure out what they can do with Tyler Hero, see what kind of player Khalil Ware would actually be going forward. Those are the three players that I feel like are actually have value, I should say. And then the rest of them are just guys they plug and place around them. And they right now they got Andrew Wiggins running up and down the floor, running the three for him. But I mean, Wiggins was just a piece that they added in from that Jimmy Butler trade as well. So I feel like they might need a jump start and maybe even an overhaul, I should say, of roster to get them going in the right direction. It might be better to do some addition by subtraction when it comes to that roster. The same. Well, I ain't gonna say with the same with the Orlando Magic. They end up losing to Boston. I think it was a 4-1 series. They end up winning one game. But the Magic themselves, they've done a lot with their roster through the draft. A lot of their players that on their team are people that they have drafted. I don't know where they really want to go with that. They're not a destination place where they get a lot of top free agents. They just hopefully that their draft picks pan out and the people get better over time. I like Paolo Banchero. I even watched him. It was weird to see Corey Joseph as they starting point guard, and maybe he was doing it because Jalen Suggs was hurt. But they bring in Anthony Black and Cole Anthony off the bench, and I would have thought one of them would have picked up the reins because Corey Joseph is a journeyman. He was on the championship team for Toronto when they won in 2019. He done went a couple places since then. So seeing him as they starting point guard was confusing to me. They might need to do something with their roster as well, but I'm not real sure. Pistons Knicks, good series, even though they only won 2 games, and they went to a game 6. Every game was close, like you said. Kate Cunningham did his thing in that series. Malik Beasley, they got some bad breaks. That one where Tim Hardaway got fouled at the end of the game, and they didn't get that call. They ended up losing that one. And then Jalen Brunson put him to bed with that game-winning shot that he made in Game 6. So they're better off than where they were last year. They might can add a piece to their roster, or they can get Jaden Ivey back. They also didn't have Isaiah Stewart to add any muscle to that series as well. So maybe, them improving. I can see them on the up and up. When it comes to Milwaukee, though, Milwaukee lost to Indiana. And it might be time for Milwaukee to do something with their roster as well. And it ain't going to be something that I'm saying might be – it's just going to be time because you're getting Damian Lillard coming back from Achilles at 34, 35 years old. He might be coming in. He ain't going to have that explosiveness that he had back in the day, and I don't think he's just been finishing at the rim like that lately anyway. But he's going to be reduced to a jump. He might lose that first step that he used to have, the quickness. So he'll be in a general role with a nice 3-point shot. Um, Talking earlier, I feel like he would be a Chauncey Billups type point guard going on for the rest of his career. Also, he's going to miss the rest. He's going to miss pretty much all of next year, which is his last year on his contract. So Milwaukee going to have to figure out what they're going to do with that. Are they just going to try to let him walk and hope that he comes back? Which I don't know because Giannis is coming up on the end of his contract too, and Giannis might not be there as well. Or are they going to try to push him to make a trade or something somewhere he can go that he'll resign that somebody will give him a long-term contract? But who would give him a long-term contract coming off an Achilles injury? So some decisions going to be made regardless if they want to make them. It's just going to be business decisions that need to be made for the Bucks as well. So we'll see. Moving over to that west side, the Western Conference side of the bracket, again, like you said, I did expect the Grizzlies to get tossed around by Oklahoma City in that 4-0. I gave them a gentleman's sweep at best. So that was pretty much expected to me. The favorite in the 2-7 was Golden State, even though the Rockets had the 2 seed. Vegas had dropped Golden State as the favorite on that. And then seeing them go in there and take games in Houston, that was pretty much expected for me against a younger team. Houston surprised me by fighting back into the series when it was 3-1. They ended up winning game 5 and 6. So to tie it up and force a game 7, that was a little surprise. But they were well coached. They showed some resiliency. They just didn't have a star to bring them home when they needed to bring them home. They, like you said, lack of shooting. It just didn't work out like they needed. They need to go get somebody, and I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it on episodes to come. Will they go get Kevin Durant? Will they go get someone else that they can add to that core to get them over the hump in the fourth quarter when them games tight and they need somebody to give them a bucket in winning time? So we'll see. And then the Nuggets Clippers. James Harden did James Harden stuff in Game 7, man. He got out there and went ghost like he normally does in a Game 7 when it's time to show up. When I was having a discussion today, I feel like as the roller coaster ride of Russell Westbrook, I think I might take Russell Westbrook over James Harden pretty much because the playoffs kind of expose people. And them regular season stats don't be really doing that. They get you some endorsement money. They get you some shoe contract money. They get you some likes when you're going out there doing 60-point triple doubles and what he was doing in Houston. And got him a lot of endorsement money, a lot of long-term money in them contracts too. But anytime it's winning time for James Harden, I ain't seen him show up. It goes back to when he was in Houston and they lost that series to the Spurs. I want to say Game 7, and Kawhi Leonard didn't even play, and they still got wiped out. Moving over to when he was with the Sixers, they didn't deliver for them either, and he ain't delivered for the Clippers. So he has a reputation of losing big games and then not showing that he care about the game. And times in Houston, they were showing he was out at the strip club right after they done lost games to put him out the city. That actually gonna fly. If you give me Russell Westbrook, I know you're gonna give me 110. He gonna give me 110% every time. And sometimes he might go a little too fast, turn it over, but his effort is always there. So neither one of them have a championship. It's debatable on which style of play will get you a championship, or will they both retire and never even get to the finals since they went with Oklahoma City? Will they get a chance to play for a championship and win one? I think as hard as Russ plays, I would like to see him win one eventually. And then we got into that Minnesota Lakers series. I like seeing that. I like seeing Ant do his thing. Me and you had talked about it, if Ant was going to have the maturity to close out the Lakers, and he showed he had the maturity to go through that series, step up when they needed to, make winning plays. And it wasn't always just him going out there scoring 30 and 40 points. That last game, in Game 5, he shot awful. But he had winning plays. He had some assists. He had rebounds. He stepped up on defense. That's a winning player. People can rally around him. Team rally around him, and he gave great effort. So I'm okay with the result. I'm getting LeBron and Luka up out of there. For days now, they kind of spoke on if that Nico Harrison trade was what he was saying. Do you feel like Luka needed to be in shape more to have won that series and move them feet a little bit better laterally and play some defense? Do you feel like Nico had a point in what he was saying when he got rid of Luka out to LA now?
No. Then if he do got a point, you still should have played that better and got more for what you gave up.
Gotcha.
At the end of the day.
Understand.
But yeah, I don't think that the Lakers losing is all on Luka. I mean, I seen Julius Randle attack LeBron a lot. I seen Rudy Gobert have a great game. None of them people are people that Luka is primarily defending. So
Right.
the Lakers' weakness is having a lack of a big man is why they ended up losing at the end of the day. Because that's where they really were able to attack. I don't think you can put that all on Luka. Yeah, he needs to be a better defender, and I don't know what condition he was in. I mean, definitely better condition than me, right? But to still be able to do what he did offensively, you got to be in some type of condition. But yeah, championship condition and regular season condition is two different things. So if his coach feel like he needs to be in better condition, then he do. But I wouldn't put that loss on Luka only because I seen, like I said, LeBron not show up a few games too, and I seen they lack of a big man show up. LeBron having to hang with Julius Randle, and that wouldn't happen. Julius really made me second guess or really go back on them that being a bad trade because excuse me for Cat because Julius stepped up this playoff and DiVincenzo, somebody else they got. They actually played some big roles in them being able to win that game.
I got you. Or I agree with you, I should say. And so that, as well as I can agree with, I thought that was a bad trade during the season for Cat and Julius Randle. I was on the record of saying that I feel like Julius Randle wasn't a good number two. I felt like he was actually a number three guy based off of his inability to go right. And he still didn't go right in that series, but he definitely played hard. He knocked down big shots. When they needed jump starts in them first quarters and stuff like that, it was always Julius Randle carrying the team, and then Ant came on strong in those later quarters and stuff like that. So I want to see more of that from Julius. Hopefully, we can see it in the next series with him and Golden State too. Um,
Shout out to my boy Corey Joseph too, man. That's a Longhorn. Shout out to my boy. I got to say that. But I got a quick question. So, do you trade Giannis right now? If you
based off of and I'm doing this from memory. I think he's coming up on the last year of his contract with Milwaukee. I would try to find if he goes into the summer and says he's not going to sign an extension, then you got to move him rather than just lose him for nothing.
So,
and the type that's going to get free agents to come in.
Would that be a good spot, or a good player for Houston to try to trade for?
Yes and no. Yes, and you bring a superstar in because they've been on record. The GM is on record saying that they're trying to bring in somebody that meshes well with the age group of the talent they have right now. So him only being 31 ish meshes well with that age group versus Kevin Durant coming in his late 30s don't mesh well with that age group based off of what the GM said. So yes, in that sense, no, and he still don't add no shooting to the team.
I mean, you can still get shooting somewhere else, but
yeah,
you can address them. I mean, not just like it's just everywhere. Well, shit, nowadays it is. Shit, everybody ready to shoot, but
right.
I'm just saying just to get that superstar part because the superstar don't have to be the shooter, but if you put some shooters around him, he gonna definitely be able to draw, get the space that they need to get their shots because people the defense gonna double and whatever they got to do to stop Giannis. So yeah, it's gonna draw.
I don't think that he meshes well with what they need. Giannis is a downhill player. He plays from inside the 3-point line, which is pretty much the same thing as Sengun that did. So if you're gonna bring somebody in, you're gonna need somebody to be more of a perimeter player for them. Again, address the shooting issues that they have. Giannis is just a name that would come in saying, "Hey, I got Giannis. He's a good defensive player." But with what they have right now, they need a perimeter go-to guy. When the game get tight, somebody can give the ball to the to that player, get him in a pick and roll situation, and go get you a bucket. They don't have that right now. They wanted it to be Jalen Green, but it's obvious it wasn't him. The Thompson twin actually was getting his bucket better than Jalen Green was getting his bucket. So I'm not real sure on that. So we'll see how that goes. But I, no, Giannis shouldn't go to the Rockets then, no, because if we're going off of scheme, we're going off what they have right now. No, I don't think he's a good fit for them. How did you feel about that? You would rather have James Harden or Russell Westbrook right now?
Well, I don't think. First, I'm gonna say I don't think James Harden not having a championship is all on James Harden. I mean, I know his style of play is criticized or whatever, and old heads in the NBA are always saying you can't win with this style, you can't do that. They said the same thing when the Mavericks was on. We wasn't gonna be able to win with that style. Our best player is a jump shooter, and we won. And everybody, they started getting on the bandwagon as it was going on. So I'm not a fan of saying what can't win or what style can't, because it's just all about who you got around you. And shit, James Harden's teams failed too because Chris Paul a few times got hurt in crucial times or crucial points in the playoffs. But right now, to answer your question, I would rather have Westbrook, especially because he understands his role. I guess it depends on what team I'm trying to build, But definitely, like a team that's already established, I would rather have a Westbrook because there's too many. NBA is full of lackadaisical effort, from a lot of guys, not everybody, but having somebody that's going to bring that is going to, if nothing else, his energy is going to bring something to your team. But that toughness and that grit that he bring, I mean, yeah, it's just hard. That's the intangible part of the sport that goes unnoticed a lot of times. When we looking at a stat sheet, just to look tip pass, he might didn't get the rebound, but he tipped it out to somebody. I don't know if they count that as a rebound or not, but all the effort plays that he makes is like something that you got to have. You got to have somebody like that when you're building a championship.
Okay, I can agree with you. I'm rocking with Westbrook on that. Like I said, I hope that he eventually get it just from the effort that he put in, the time in Oklahoma City, the times that he didn't have to get backlash when he jumped to other teams, especially when he was with the Lakers and got all that backlash for playing with LeBron and AD. I hope that eventually he'll get some good out of that and we can see him win a championship from the years.
Redemption, man. Yeah, I would like to see that for Westbrook.
Okay. We'll transition over to before I transition, we got the second round here. We got Boston and New York. We have the Cavs and the Pacers. We have Timberwolves and the Warriors, and then we also have the Nuggets and the Thunder. What you got coming out of each series?
Nuggets, Thunder. I got the Nuggets. T-Wolves, Warriors. I got the T-Wolves.
Okay.
Cavs, Pacers. I got the Pacers. Celtics, Knicks. I got the Knicks.
All right, I got pretty much all opposite. I got Cavs, Celtics. Well, I tell you this: the Cavs are saying that they might be missing two more players from a game. Like Evan Mobley might not play next game; he's in doubt. We'll see. Darius Garland is already out with a sprained toe, so we'll see. But if everything's healthy, I would like to see the Cavs beat the Pacers. Celtics beat the Knicks. That game is currently on right now. It's actually 85-83, Boston in Boston, so we'll see how that goes. But either team for me, I like seeing it. I want to see that good old school Boston versus New York crowd into a type game anyway, so I hope that series goes 7. Oklahoma City and the Nuggets, I think the Thunder are going to beat them. I see them beating them in 6 games, mainly because they have more depth than the Nuggets. The Nuggets' only player that comes off the bench that gives them anything is Russell Westbrook. So you're going to be relying on 6 players to go against a young Thunder team with a lot of energy and home court advantage. I see Oklahoma City winning that one. And they might go 6-7 games too. but I see Oklahoma City winning that. And then this last series, this is an emotional series for me because outside of Kevin Durant, I like Ant. But since Kevin Durant was with Golden State, I followed them, and I like watching the Warriors too. I like seeing Steph come into your building and give you 3 after 3 and just drain the life out your crowd and give you the night celebration. But I like Ant too. And so I'm gonna pay attention. I'm probably gonna watch every game of this one. And right now, to add to Ant's resume of legends that he done knocked out the playoffs, he done knocked out KD, he done knocked out Jokic, he done knocked out Luka and LeBron. So adding Steph to that resume would be nice. So that's gonna be a good series, man. You throw in Jimmy Butler in there with Steph and Draymond and the Draymond Gobert situation when Draymond had choked out Gobert. He really ain't got no respect for dude. I don't know, man. You gotta catch me. I don't even know if I can give you an answer on that one. Man.
Who you picking?
I'm cool with either one winning. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with I don't really know, man. I'm gonna go with I'm leaning towards the Timberwolves.
Who you think gonna win? That ain't who you want to win. Because I would rather the Cavs beat the Pacers, but I think Rick Carlisle gonna outcoach their coach. I would rather. Well, I don't know about the Knicks, Celtics, but I think the Knicks or I think the Celtics are gonna have that championship run and playing in the USA whatever tournament is gonna start catching up with them. They 2 stars. I feel like the T-Wolves. I just think I don't know. That is a tough one though. I don't know why I picked the T-Wolves over the Warriors outside of Ant. You know what I'm saying? Being able to them not having nobody for Ant. And I just like the way Julius Randle playing right now, honestly. And I thought that the Nuggets, I think Jokic is going to be too much for the Thunder. And I think Westbrook is going to have definitely a rejuvenation of some sort playing against OKC. And I think that's going to really help push them past. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. But I would rather the Thunder win, though, honestly. But I just going off of what I just looking at it, I'm just, hey.
I got you. I can agree. With Jimmy Butler going back to Minnesota, where he, forced his way out of there when they had.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Agree with you on that. So that's why it was hard for me to say it's a lot going on in that series. Like I said, you got superstar for superstar. You got villain versus villain. You got Jimmy Butler coming in. You got Julius Randle trying to prove he's still a good number 2. It's a lot going on right there. And that's why I couldn't really call it. I don't really care who wins that one because I like both teams. I'm not going to lie to you. I like Ant doing this thing. I like Steph. We'll see. With Minnesota having home court advantage, you think you'll slide there, but I can see Steph and them having championship pedigree and going in there and winning a game or 2 and taking it home. So I'm ready to see that one. That's one that I'm gonna say I'm gonna get my popcorn ready. I still ain't made a pick, so I don't know. I'm pick, man.
I'm picking the Timberwolves, man.
All right.
Yep, you good. He calling it a draw.
I got you. All right. Well, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. We'll go from there. We'll go ahead and transition over to another weekend topic, which was the Cinco de Mayo Boxing weekend, where we had several fights with several big names. The big name fights that I can account for this weekend was Ryan Garcia. There was Devin Haney. There was Teofimo Lopez. There was also Canelo Alvarez doing their things. They all fought other individuals. The only upset, or that we would consider upset, even though if you know boxing, you feel like Ryan and Rolly was a good fight. The rest of them were you feel like Devin Haney was going to win his, Canelo was going to win his, as well as Teofimo. So, Matt, talk to me about boxing weekend. School me up on it, my man. You're a boxing connoisseur. What did you observe during the boxing weekend, and what do you take from it?
Well, shit, I'm just a fan, man. But this weekend it was I mean, it depends on how you watch boxing and what you. If you was looking for action packed, I mean, then it was pretty dull outside of what happened on Sunday with Monster Inoue. But we had Teofimo Lopez versus Barbosa. Barbosa's a pretty good fighter. Teofimo looked good for most of the fight. Definitely should have mashed the gas at some point. Try to get Buddy out of there, but he actually probably fought the better. It's on paper, going in when you looked at it, you probably would have thought he was fighting a better fighter. Especially if you casual. But you don't even have to be casual. Some hardcore people probably thought that too. Then Haney turned around and so Teofimo won by decision. Haney fought Jose Ramirez. A lot of people were critical of Devin Haney and his performance. He's been out for a year, so you got to take that into account. That layoff definitely plays a part in how you want to come out into that fight. Jose Ramirez was a better fighter. He's kind of older now, but I believe he won a championship in one of the lighter weight classes, maybe 140. But yeah, Devin, to me, looking at it, what I was looking at was, okay, this is how he plans on fighting going forward. So this is like a broadcasted sparring match for him to kind of work on what he really how he want to fight, and how he should have fought Ryan. Not really go blow for blow because he's not a puncher like that to go blow for blow with a dude, but he definitely is slick enough and has enough boxing IQ to be able to outbox his opponent. And that's what he did, Didn't take a lot of chances, which he shouldn't. If that's not your style, I mean, that's the thing with boxing. There's different styles in boxing, and most people want to see you go toe to toe, but got to understand there are different styles. Just like in martial arts, you got taekwondo, karate, kung fu, judo, all of that, and you respect all them different styles. It's the same way in boxing. It's an art. But Haney did what he had to do. He won. And I'm sure the next fight, he probably put more effort towards countering and catching those counters, but I don't see him changing his style. Just kind of taking advantage of more of his openings that he see. Ryan and Rolly was where people were surprised because Ryan and Haney and Teofimo are all fighting on the same card because it's almost like a tournament of sorts that they in with Bootsinis. So Ryan win, he's supposed to fight Devin. Supposed to do that. They still might do it because it's still some bad blood. But Ryan ended up losing to Rolly, which was the fight he was favored in. But Rolly, he's tough, and Rolly's sparred with Ryan before and claimed that he got the best of him in. Actually, was at a fight that Ryan was at probably about 7-8 years ago and was pressing him. And Ryan was looking shook. So Rolly came in with confidence, and I believe Ryan came in thinking he's been out a year too. So you got to give him, put that out there. But I think he came in thinking that Rolly was going to be stupid and walk into something like he had done against Tank and Pitbull Cruz, and that he was going to be able just to get him out of there because he got punching power. But Rolly actually boxed and stood 10 toes on his game plan and knocked Ryan down and didn't get over anxious and just start swinging for the fences, stayed behind the jab and won their fight. I'm glad they didn't take it from him because they wanted their fight with Devin and Ryan to kind of have that steam. You need them both coming off of wins, but they gave it to the right person. Then Canelo fought William Skull, and people were critical of that, of William Skull. And I gotta say, I get it, but there are different styles in fighting. Cuba has a lot of they have different peep styles, and one of them is hit and don't get hit. And they got several fighters that fight their way. They'll run circles around you before they punch you, but they make sure you don't hit them. And when you look at it, he threw more punches than Canelo, and he landed about the same amount. So people that were being critical of him should have been just as critical of Canelo for not knowing how to cut off the ring and following him around the ring the whole time.
Right.
You've been fighting too long. You've been fighting against other fighters, other Cuban. You fought Lara, who's a Cuban, and he fights kind of similar. You fought Canelo Mayweather, who uses his legs, even though he stood in the pocket with you a little bit more than people thought he would. But you're used to this, you know what I'm saying? You've even used that tactic yourself against people that you had better feet than. Probably not as much as he did, but you definitely use your legs when you need to. But Canelo won, which I felt, was fair. But people being critical of the style, I mean, if you watch this dude fight, that's how he fight. I mean, and that's boxing. You got to appreciate the different styles in boxing, because that's what makes it interesting. And that's why they say styles make fights, because you don't know which style or who bringing that style is going to be able to beat somebody you didn't expect him to beat.
Okay. When you made some points, and I want to ask you, when you said they was supposed to be like a tournament and they were setting it up for Boots, you mentioned Boots innings. How does that factor into the fights that happened this weekend?
With Boots? Because Boots, pretty much Boots and Teofimo supposed to be lined against.
Okay, gotcha. They gonna fight on the Turkish card, or is it going?
Yeah. Boots with the zone too.
Okay.
He's signed with Eddie Hearn, so Eddie Hearn got their relationship with Turkey, because he was there and help him promote the fight.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, they might still do the Ryan and Devin fight, but I think that because of Rolly beating, I would take Rolly and Devin. I don't know about Ryan. I saw Ryan on clips for crying in the Sprinter van after the fight. He rolls up in Batman, the Batmobile and stuff. I'm like, this dude right here definitely got the show. Last few fights, I don't know about. So, I mean, he got the one with Devin Haney or whatever. But then when he fought Tank, and then this one with the layoff, and then the controversy he had with the PDEs and stuff like that, he got a lot of stuff going on over the last few fights that I ain't gonna say it stalled his hype or anything like that. But if he would have been able to win those fights, it definitely would have been shooting through the roof. He would be one of the top PPV fighters right now. So we'll see how his career can continue to go. I hope he makes a dip and make a turnaround to be what they had put him up to be. I know he was working with Derrick James, who came in working with Oscar De La Hoya. He's still with Golden Boy?
Yeah, he's still with Golden Boy.
Okay. And then he had a little stint with Mayweather too. So he done been around some of the top fighters and stuff. So I hope he put it together and get his career going with good quality wins, get him a good quality opponent, and start doing this thing. So we'll see how that goes. With that, like you said, what I took from the boxing was that I like Teofimo, I like Devin Haney. Hopefully Haney has to fight Rolly and they don't just skip him over to Ryan Garcia based off of the pay-per-view numbers and the draw. But we'll see how that goes. It's
they might, but it won't be. So when it's something to Rolly, he pretty much suggested that they go ahead and get that over with. He can still fight with Devin, but this definitely a fight where Devin can make a lot of money. He can make more money fighting Ryan and Rolly still.
Sure.
And I'm sure they're gonna look into that. But yeah, I'm with you though. I mean, I would, if Rolly wants their fight, which I'm sure he will at some point, he should get it. But he's pretty much said he'd rather them go ahead and fight first.
Okay, I got you. All right, I'm with that. Like I said, that was, I got schooled up on the recap that you just presented to us on that. I wasn't aware that it was a tournament style or whoever was going to win those was going to be able to face off in those next fights that they were supposed to have. I'm ready to see Boots Ennis actually fight someone that I recognize. I'm not a big boxing fan, but to see him and Teofimo, I honestly think that Boots would beat Lopez in a fight. So we'll see how that goes. But that's one that I would sit down and watch. I would actually sit down and watch Haney and Ryan Garcia as well. I watch Rolly too, but because of the names, I want to see that and talk a little trash behind it too. So
yeah, I mean, cool. Imagine Devin beating Ryan, or whatever, and Boots beating Lopez, and then you got Boots and Devin possibly,
Yeah, I got the Turkish guy also doing fights with Dana White now. They promoting their own thing as well. So I guess boxing is trying to get back to the best fighters fighting the best fighters if they all can make money. It appears this is what the Turk guys trying to do and orchestrate, get some of the fights done that people want to see, put some big money behind it, and go from there. So I'm all for the idea if they're gonna get back to everybody names fighting instead of just ducking and dodging based off of promoters and which network, for sure.
Right on.
I got you. All right. We'll go ahead and transition to my favorite part of the show again. This is always
my bad, bro. I forgot to mention the you probably never mind. Go ahead.
I got you. We'll go ahead and transition to the more or less, and we'll piggyback off the boxing. When Canelo ended up winning his fight over the weekend, after that they went ahead and announced again this fight is going to be in Las Vegas September the 12th. It'll be between Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, promoted by the Dana White group and the Turkish guy doing their thing as far as promoting this fight. So it's going to be the mega fight. They're promoting this fight of the century. Canelo Alvarez, Bud Crawford, two of the top names in sports right now. And that's our first more or less topic. Matt, more or less, Bud Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez, jumping up 2 weight classes to fight at, I think it's 168. And Bud, his highest he's fought is at 154. Which one are you taking?
I'm taking more that he can beat him.
Will he beat him?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm going with Bud with the win. Man, Bud is bigger than Canelo, taller, better reach, and Canelo really, when you look at him, he don't move around the ring as good as he used to. Mm-hmm. I see Canelo looking a little older than me. When you look at his body, I don't want to get too much like whatever, but he's the muscle man. It don't look as real, Okay. I ain't looking at his body, but I'm just saying, you got a lot of say stuff on it. But yeah, but no. So I mean, I don't look like the same threat that he was to me years ago when he was actually, walking through stuff. And I've seen Canelo get beat with a jab, when he fought Bivol. Bivol 1-2'd him, moved around the ring, and, gave Canelo all he can handle. And I think Bud, if he is as sharp as he was against Errol, and I think he can definitely and will beat Canelo.
Okay. Bud, for people don't know, Bud is my favorite fighter. Based off of I started following him 2014, 2015, and it based off of he was letting Boosie and Webby walk him out, and at that time I was a big Boosie and Webby fan. I'm still a big Boosie and Webby fan. So they kind of introduced me to Bud, and I was wanting to know the backstory of why this Nebraska fighter would be letting 2 Baton Rouge artists walk him out. And so did a little backstory, and he was just a fan of Boosie and Webby. And those are, at that time, like I said, I was a big Boosie and Webby fan too. So it was cool to see somebody reach out and have that relationship, knowing and he liking their music too. So since then, I followed his career when he made the jump up from weight classes a couple times. And so if you don't know, me and Matt went back and forth a long time when they was doing the Spence Crawford fight, and I was riding for Crawford the whole time. Called him. I might have gave him the weekend before I called him and said, I told you Crawford was going to do his thing. And we talked about it then too. But I'm saying all that to say, I don't think he's going to win against Canelo. I didn't want him to take this fight. I understand that he needs the money to take this fight and go off into retirement because he spent a lot of time in that top rank deal and then even trying to promote himself independently. Wasted some good years trying to cross the street, as he was saying, over to the PBC street and figure out when he was going to get Spence, and it wasted some time. And so when he finally got it and he's getting the recognition now, I'm happy for him. But after going back and looking at the money he's made, he ain't made nearly the amount of money that some of these other boxers have made. And it's time for him to get a good payday besides the one he got from Spence. I just don't think that he's going to win going up 2 weight classes after seeing him fight at 154. It was a little sluggish in that last fight. And so I wanted him to go out on top. I do want him to get paid. I don't know who to. I want maybe I was hoping he was gonna get one of the Charlo twins and go ahead and destroy them, much as they was talking back and forth when he was fighting Spence in the crowd and stuff.
Him and Jamal actually took a picture together.
Gotcha. But recently?
No, it was like him and Jamal. Him and Jamal always been tight.
Okay.
Gotcha. Him and Jamil was going back and forth a long time, for a minute. But yeah, I think that'll be the one. I mean, that would make sense because he ain't fought in a minute either, though. Canelo beat him.
Yeah. So, like I said, I wanted to see it. I'm giving you an update right now. It's 100. It's tied at 100 between Boston and New York with 5 seconds left, and New York has the ball right now. They get a chance to go for the winning shot. Jason Tatum actually just missed the 3 to go ahead, so Knicks got the rebound, call timeout. But back to what I was saying, I don't think he's gonna win, so I'm gonna take less on that, and this is because I wanted him to go out with the undefeated record. I want him to get his money, but jumping up 2 weight classes, I'm not real. I don't think that's gonna work out. So we'll see. I'm a little cautious on him taking this fight. If he does it, hey, my guy, favorite fighter right now. But to see him not, if he don't win, I'm like, yeah, I didn't want him to take it to start with. So I'm less on that.
I mean, it's gonna count either way, but yeah, I think he's gonna win.
Okay. Segueing over to another topic that came out sneaky this weekend, where clips showed Rob Pelinka, Luka Doncic, and JJ Redick leaving a restaurant. And the topic we felt as fans that they was in there discussing the plan for the summer on how they gonna build around Luka going forward, what the team would need from Luka going forward. And the big topic on that is Luka to get in championship shape is what JJ Redick said that they needed from the team going forward. Matt, more or less, Luka gonna get in shape over the summer.
They said they went out to eat and met.
I mean, in a restaurant that was coming out of the restaurant.
Salad or something, like, I don't know. You take them out to eat and then tell them you need to get in shape, like what you letting them order at the table. I'm a little torn on that. I think Luka will be in shape because I seen Luka in shape last season, and he was in championship season shape last season because we went to the ship, and it was mainly because of the things that he was able to do offensively. Is he going to be in shape enough to do what he do offensively and be a defensive stopper? Nope, he's not. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen with Kenny. I mean, it depends on what you asking from him, though, because even and I know we talking about this year, but even last season in the playoffs, he led the team, the NBA in steals in the playoffs.
Gotcha.
And that's crucial. Them turnovers and easy points. Then there was where a lot of people criticized he was getting blown by and all of that. But I think he was in enough shape to get it, and I think he can get back into that shape. I think a lot of the reason why he wasn't in tip-top shape, maybe trying to get married this off season and be with his old lady, that could have played a part. Then he got hurt, with the calf strain. So you definitely ain't gonna be working out with a calf strain enough to get in shape, basketball shape. So I think all that played a part. But next season, I definitely think he's gonna play. He's gonna come in with a chip on his shoulder to prove everybody wrong and to redeem himself from his team getting put out in the first round.
Okay. I clapped while he was talking because Jalen Brunson had a chance to win the game and missed it. It was a layup. He had to drop it in over Al Horford, and he didn't get it in. Hit the rim, backboard and rim.
So get Jalen too. Damn, Jalen.
Yeah. Crazy. Celtics got the rebound. It's 0.6 seconds left. They can advance the ball, so they're gonna get a shot. Whether they make it or not, I'll let you know. However, more or less, Luka will lose weight over the summer. It was one of them concerns that the Mavs had for him as well. And if you go back and look at, I know he was only 18, 19 now. He's a 26-year-old man, and of course, body definitely develops over time. But he was a real small guy when he got in the league, a lot quicker than what he is right now. He was doing a lot of stuff. I watched the highlight tape of him on the weekend when he was smaller than what he is. I would like to see him drop some pounds. will he drop some pounds more or less? I think he is. I think he knows the magnitude of where he at right now. What is it as being asked of him? Especially that trade kind of awoke him. And so I know he plans to play EuroLeague basketball this summer, which is an August, September event, just depending on how fast you go. I mean, how long you stay in this event. But I think he's going to put in the time, man. And you can only hear somebody downing you and telling you you're out of shape for so long before you get ready to start improving. Even Zion and lost some weight. So I say more on that one. All right. Then last topic on the more or less, this is a culture question for my guy Matt, mainly because I see my guy Matt casual all the time. And I just want to know, Matt, today is the Met Gala 2025, and it's a lot of fashion going on. Are you more or less on today's fashion in a sense where we them transition from baggy jeans and tall tees, your bow pants to more tailored skinny? I ain't gonna say skinny jeans, but fitted jeans and smaller shirts. How are you? Are you more or less on today's fashion, or would you rather everything transition back to what it was?
I don't want it to transition back. I'm just not going to conform to what today's fashion is. Okay. Let me have my lane. So I would prefer fashion from when I came up, and honestly, I prefer fashion from the 70s.
Okay, talk to me. What's the 70s fashion? What is that?
Outside of but just the color coordinating they would put into it. Okay. I ain't really with the bare bottoms, but the corduroys and the shades they was wearing back then, two-tone shades, with the hats. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a bunch of I like their style too more than what I like today, and because he was more. Men was dressing like what men dress like.
I get what you're going, man. You feel like metrosexual right now is a fine line to say.
Yeah, because I mean, outside of somebody that was interested in being a woman, I never saw a man in women's clothes and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And hey, if that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm not knocking people for about. The question was presented to me, and this is my point of view on it. But I respect everybody's standpoint. But nowadays, you see more women dressing like men and men dressing like women than when I grew up.
Understandable. I'm okay with today's fashion, in the sense to where some people take it too far than what I would do. Kind of like what you were saying, the metrosexual thing, or what we've seen, an outlier where you can get a photo shoot and you can catch men in some kilts and skirts, a la Russell Westbrook on his magazine cover.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah. The whole mesh open chest shirts that I done seen Harden and Russell Westbrook, bro. That's not my style. But I'm also okay with tailored pants and preparation going into that. And not saying that the 90s didn't have preparation into their fits and stuff. I'm big on either or on the area. It's just more so the preparation and taking the time to color coordinate or even get the sense of it going. So I'm okay with today's fashion. I'm okay with the 90s fashion. I'm okay with the 2000s fashion. If you can dress in any era. And the fashion is okay with me on either side. I wore baggy clothes when it was popular and it was in season or in style. And now at this point, you can catch me in some more fitted pants and a fitted shirt as well. I'm not going to take it too far, but I ain't going to down people who take it that far either. To each his own on the fashion part. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's like in the 80s, they used to be, like, it was Boy George and Prince. They got fashion like them like that androgynous type of style. You know what I'm saying? High heels, but stuff like. I mean, not that they wearing that per se, but that's kind of leaning towards what they was doing back. So it's been done before when I think about it, but I wasn't with it then either.
Okay, I understand. I don't think I'm with that, but no, nothing like that. But like I said, if you coordinate it right. Then it's body style too. Because if you get like now we got slimmer clothes and big dudes trying to jump off in slim clothes, that ain't for them. Because Go ahead.
Hey, don't box shame, though. Don't do that.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm more so saying I am saying that. It ain't for them. That's what it is. And I ain't saying no names or nothing like that. But skinny jeans ain't for everybody style, man. It's a lot. It's a lot going on right there. But what I am saying is I'm okay with every the 90s, the 2000s, and right now what's going on fashion.
Everybody got their own stuff, man.
I got you. All right. That was our last more or less topic for today. You got anything you want to address before we wrap up today's show?
If you watching this show, then you gotta go back and watch the show before where we did an interview with Daniel Gafford. Thought it was a good show. Definitely gonna get better with interviewing me myself, but I still was happy with the outcome and where things went. And I know how I am. It's only gonna get better, but I appreciate anybody that did watch it. If you watched it and you didn't hit the like button, then you just a hater. But hit the like button, go back to hit the like button, please. Make sure if you're watching this video, you like and you subscribe to us, man. Give us a shot to be a part of your favorite podcast playlist. But other than that, don't think I got nothing. I'm trying to think before I get off. That's it, Chief. That's all I got, really, man. I hope everybody have a good one and be safe out there.
Most definitely like and subscribe. Last episode was a good one. I actually can't wait to get back into a live studio with guests for more episodes to come. Again, that one, shout out to Daniel Gafford for stopping by. Hopefully we can get him back on at some point and get into some deeper issues as far as basketball itself, how he feels, seasons are going, if we can get him in season, things of that nature. So I appreciate him for taking the time, sharing all the promos, the drops that we did for him and tagging him in, and he definitely participated in this thing. Shout out to him on that. I look forward to, our next episodes as the playoffs continue to go as well. And we'll see what we can get as far as the topics in the summer as well. We're starting to look for some guests through the summer. We got some ideas. I look forward to it either way. Like I said, that the last episode, us being in the studio, we can definitely build on that going forward. It was fun. All the preparation that went into it, it paid off with the episode.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely drop it. So appreciate it. Listen.
My bad, Chief. I didn't even step on you there. But I was just gonna say, for anybody watching, y'all drop in the comments, man. Anybody that you would like to see be interviewed. It ain't just got to be dudes that's playing sports right now. Be somebody that played before that you want to hear from. One of these artists, anybody, whoever you want to see. Then y'all drop it in the comments, and we definitely try. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's some difference. We started people to interview. Go ahead.
Based on the culture, even though we talk sports, sports goes hand in hand with culture. Culture can be music, it can be movies, it can be fashion. We try to actually end the show with a culture question every time we do it, so it ain't all sports. So we're looking for guests that want to come in and we can segue and bridge that gap between sports and culture because they all work hand in hand. What they say, ball players want to be rappers, rappers want to be ball players, and you can always mesh that together just to get a sense on people's where they are and how much they pay attention to each side of the coin with this culture or sports. So I look forward to getting some guests in from different areas, talking sports related questions and talking culture related questions too. So yeah, either way, again, please like, please subscribe. We look forward to getting the numbers up and dropping out more content. That's all I got for you guys today. We'll wrap up this episode of Real Game Talk podcast. Again, it's Matt, myself and Matt. Appreciate you guys. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you.